everybody. My name's Anna. If you don't know me, I am a fourth year undergraduate student actually going to medical school next year, which is absolutely insane to say. And I am working on my novel, trying to get that done, out, and published, ready before medical school come July, which is absolutely insane. Today, I'm going to give you 3 tips that worked for me that actually helped me finish my damn novel. This is the 4th novel I've written, and so I'm really excited to bring you these tips to hopefully help you and kind of be your no nonsense older sister on actually getting this shit done. So let's get right into it. Very first one, number 1, is to think about everyone in the world who has an idea for a book. You might be talking to your friends, your mom, your sisters, anyone who just has an idea of what they want to write. And a lot of times they can talk to you about it, or some people won't even talk to you about it at all. They'll just be afraid you'll steal their idea. But guess what? 99.9% of those books will never get written, and even less of those will ever see the light of day. So, what I want you to do is this thing called negative visualization, which actually can motivate you even better to actually reach your goals versus positive visualization. So stop the incessant daydreaming about times that you're going to be a New York New York Times best-selling author. Because realistically, if you keep daydreaming about that, that is never going to happen. Instead, I want you to think about what's going to happen if you never achieve your goals. Now, this might sound a little bit grim, but it's actually been proven that this negative visualization, like the fear, actually spurs you into action even more to take strides to accomplish your actual dreams. Honestly, it's something that I do if I'm feeling a bit avoidant. All I want to do is daydream about the days when my novel finally sees the light. But realistically, that's going to get you nowhere. So, tip number 1, negative visualization. Couple of tips for this. Give yourself a couple minutes if it's on your daily walk, your commute, if you're in traffic. I want you to think about what will happen if you never achieve your dreams. No one is going to notice. No one is going to hear the important story that your characters have to tell. No one is going to give you any recognition. And all of a sudden, in 5 years, 10 years, someone might ask you about the book that you've talked incessantly about, and you will have absolutely nothing to show for it. How does that make you feel? This is really crucial in determining your why. Why do you want to write a book? Do you want to tell people? Is this story really important for you to get it out into the world? Or is it something deeper? What exactly is it that drives you? And this is just a really great motivational practice in order to get you to one step closer to actually finishing the damn book. Okay, let's get into tip number 2 I have to actually finish your damn book. Tip number 2 is to outline. Now, I know as I say this, universally, a bunch of people on the other end of this video groan, because I know it's pantsing versus plotting. It's all these discovery writers just figuring out what to do. And they say, Anna, if you tell me I need to outline my book, that takes out the joy of writing. And to that, I say, bullshit. For example, the one exception I would say is if you are a full-time writer and you have nothing but time, all you want to do is explore your story and what could work for you. And even then, that's not a draft 1 of your book, that's a draft 0, because I guarantee your revision process will be hell in a handbasket, and you will have to rewrite your entire book from scratch. I know this, not because I want to judge anyone, but because I have done this myself multiple times. I had a good friend tell me, look, you're going to be a lot more successful if you outline. And this person had never written a book. So I was like, why would I ever take any advice from you? But after going through this process, not 1 time, not 2 times, but 3 times, and realizing each time I had to, the end of my draft 1 versus the beginning of my draft 1 felt like 2 completely different stories. So I realized I needed to make a change. This is when I discovered the importance of story structure. Specifically, what works for me is the Save the Cat beat sheet. I think that this is an amazing structure that you can use in order to outline your book. You can buy the book online. You can also watch a plethora of YouTube videos describing and breaking down the beats. But I would recommend just like a general familiarity with this story structure is going to be intensely important if you want to outline a book and if you want the end of your book to actually be coherent with the beginning of your book. Now, I know a lot of you are very, very busy people. So I know that writing isn't your full-time job, and sometimes you might have to put a story down just to pick it back up again. Have you ever gotten that avoidance of picking back up your book after a long time of putting it down, being like, shit, I literally don't even know what I wrote. I need to reread this entire thing. I need to take detailed notes on everything. I need to remind myself what I had and figure out where the hell I'm going with it. I guarantee that if you had an outline, this would already be done for you and take out so much of the stress of reopening your book. And that is what is going to happen that is so important for you to have this like lower resistance barrier about opening your laptop and continuing the book. Because if that resistance is high all of the time, I swear it will never, ever, ever get done. You will be so scared. You'll be shivering in your own boots in a project that is supposed to be your passion. It's supposed to bring you joy. It's supposed to bring you creativity and light. So please, please, please outline your next novel. If you're working on your novel, figure out what the fuck you're doing. Okay? Thank you. Tip number 3. Remember that there is no such thing as an original idea. I find that a lot of authors get stuck because they don't know what to do next in their novel in order to make something new that hasn't been done before, that hasn't been tired. And I guarantee in literature, especially in commercial fiction, especially in fantasy, the genre that I'm writing, everything has been so done, the market is so saturated that everything has been reused over and over again. So for the love of God, if you want your character's romance to escalate, you can use and rely on a familiar trope that you really, really like. And if you see it in a different novel, you can borrow that for your own. I guarantee with your characters' differing motivations and, like their different internal conflicts, it will be totally different. But if you use the same vesicle as a book that you really like to get your characters from point A to point B, that is not plagiarism, that is inspiration. So definitely don't be afraid to draw inspiration from books. And you cannot at all draw inspiration from books if you don't read books. So my next piece of advice is kind of a sub point in this point is to read a lot of the genre that you are trying to write. Oftentimes the story structure is very repetitive. You will find different things that you like and things that you definitely don't like in the genre, so you can be sure to make it your own from there. And altogether, it won't feel like you're reinventing the wheel, but instead you're following a format. In fact, an outline, going back to my last point. So those are all 3 points I have for you from the very beginning. If you need to open that damn computer, go ahead and use some negative visualization. Number 2, go ahead and outline that book start to finish so you can pick it up at any time and any place. And 3, if you're stuck, don't be afraid to borrow ideas or tropes from other books to get your characters from point A to point B. I guarantee with the different internal conflicts and different settings of your characters, they will react very differently and it will be a completely different novel. Thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks. Bye.